The second one is we all have essentially different fundamental truths in our own heart. Imagine Willie Nelson loves music, right? His basic truth is music. Playing music is his truth. Excuse me. He was messed over by the IRS. Do you think if he had a choice between playing songs for the IRS or saying no, but maybe losing his music, what do you think he would do? He would play, wouldn't he? Yeah. That fundamental truth within us all, there is that. You have to peel your own heart open, figure out what your truth is. And then when you're acting on that truth, they will recognize it. Arguing about what these words mean. When I peeled my heart back, I found that fundamentally I thought humor was it. And then I went, no, humor, there's truth still. And then there was justice. Justice is very important to me, and then by the time I got right down to the bottom, it's the one thing where when I mess up, I know it and it hurts me. And to me, that's compassion. I know a peace officer, a cop, for him it's peace. I know a justice of the peace, for him it's justice. I know a notary, for him it's truth. I know a lawyer, for him it's honor. A musician is for music. Within your own heart, there is a simple fundamental truth that if you seize on that, it's going to be like an invitation from God to go to a party. And if you have that invitation, these people who are trying to block the party, who are guarding it, they see it, they will stand back. It's a whole different game when they see that you are operating with something in your heart, instead of just anger and a desire for more money or frustration at their words. You become far, far more powerful. The third little click, and this is, you have been deceived. So the first click is your heart figuring out that. The second click, and this is the worst one, this is the hardest one. We all know we've been deceived. Is that correct? Who's responsible for that? You must accept fully and completely responsibility for having been deceived. Accept that they used your ignorance, your fear, and your greed every time. It was that they were they're just trolling. They put a worm on a hook and then you went after it. No one ever forced you to do it. You must accept full responsibility for the deception. The reason this is, A, it's what an adult does. B, if you want fully and completely power over your future, you want power over your present, that means you must accept responsibility for your past. The moment you accept responsibility for your past, your power over your future suddenly unfolds. And that's the hardest truth. People, oh no, but they did this. Yeah, well, you signed here. Yeah, but I didn't know it. Yeah. Let it go, accept responsibility, it's your life. No one ever forced you, no one put a gun to your head, said sign this. You were always seeking benefits, you were always failing to do due diligence. Everyone here has a driver's license, I bet, except for me. And how many read the Motor Vehicle Act before applying for it? Actually deconstructed it and read it, not a single one. That's how they get you. You must accept responsibility for that if you want power over your future. And the final one is figuring out what your truth is, recognizing that it's akin to a duty. And when you do your duty, and with responsibility and with a heart, holy mackerel, dude, you're not dealing anymore with cops who want to enforce any of these words on you. Suddenly, you're the master, they are the servant, and they recognize it. It's about love, it's about responsibility, it's about duty. See, and here you all are waiting for a punchline. Naked man. So the process for securing your security, first identify where you want to be. Make a list and say, okay, in 3 months from now, 6 months from now, wherever, I am going to be here. The process then, you want to get to this point where you're going to essentially build a house on high ground. That roof is your claim of right. You want to establish what your claim of right is. The claim of right That's going to need walls, and those walls are your notice of intent. Walls need foundation. That is your notice of understanding. The high ground, that is your courtesy letter. Your first step should be to establish where you want to get to. Write down, these are my rights. Once you know what your rights are, once you feel what they are, you then must be able to express them and articulate them. You can't just say, I've got a right to poke you in the eye because I like poking people in the eye. It has to be an articulable, logical, reasonable explanation as to why these things exist. Once you have that, you express your understanding, you write a courtesy letter to these people, tell them what you're going to be doing. And I've got examples for you. We can pull one out and you guys can read it out. I wanted to print a bunch of stuff up, but I didn't know I was going to be here either, eh? The universe, it just blows me here and there. As long as there's beers and chicken wings, I'm pretty happy. I knew you'd like that, mister. Essentially, all you're going to be doing is writing a letter. Now, you are going to be making a demand on the man who is holding your property, your security in trust. You are going to be making that demand publicly and with the Queen watching, so that if he doesn't act, you're fighting a bully. I'll give you, maybe I should tell the story. I don't know. You want to hear a funny little story from my bully fighting high school days? There's a guy by the name, I don't want to mention his name, it might be on the internet, but Tim Perry would know himself. Oops. As you can imagine, I had a pretty big mouth in high school, eh? And not too many friends. And I get off the bus, Tim Perry's there with all his whole crew. He was in a year or two above me, and he was like 3 p.m. We're fighting in the playground, or in the, where did he say? Yeah, behind the workshop. We're fighting behind the workshop. I'm like, oh man, and I was all scared. Eh? For the first period, I had a great big knot in my belly. I'm terrified. I couldn't think. Sweating. You get scared. I walked out of my classroom. There he is, and he wants to push the button again. He goes, oh no, remember 3 p.m. we're going to fight. I was so mad. I just went wham. I punched him right in the gut. He fell. I ran. I made my way to class, and and I'm like, holy mackerel, the knot in my belly is gone. That actually felt pretty good. I started thinking, oh, okay, that's a little bit better. Lunchtime rolls around. I'm thinking he's going to be looking for me. He's going to be hunting me with his friends. So I didn't want to square off with him. I went to the library, the audiovisual room, because I know that bullies' audiovisual equipment is like kryptonite to Superman, right? They just don't like technical shit. So I'm hiding in there. I come out, just as the bell rings, I'm going in there. Round the corner, there he is. And I'm like, holy mackerel, he was surprised to see me. I was surprised to see him. I went, boom! I kicked him right in the nuts. Hard. He folded. I ran. I'm in class now, and I'm thinking, this is actually a workable strategy. Second to last class, French. I tell the teacher, yeah, I got to go to the washroom. I get out of class 5 minutes early. I position myself outside of his shop class where I knew he was. I'm standing there. Now it's not an accident. As soon as he walked out, I smoked him right in the face. I ran. By the time 3 o'clock came around, I had hit him 3 times. At 3:15, was he in the playground there ready to fight? I have no idea. I was on the bus. I'm not letting him tell me when and where I'm going to fight. If he wants to fight me, we'll fight. I decide the rest. The next morning, I'm thinking, well, man, I'm dead. I'm so dead. He's going to be on me. I lived in Windsor, right across from Detroit. And the Detroit Tigers, they used to do these promotional things where you get these little mini bats, eh? And they give them out at like baseball games before they figured out it was a pretty stupid idea to give clubs to angry sports fans in Detroit. But I had this little mini bat, so I had that up in my sleeve and I was ready to square off. I'm getting off the bus, I'm thinking we're going to square off. I'm cracking a head or two first. I get off, he's not around. I'm thinking, oh well. I go around, he's in the smoking area. He's only there with 2 other guys, not his crew of 10 anymore. He had lost a bit of juice. So I put down my bags, I grabbed my bat, I didn't produce it, I'm just holding it. So are we on again for 3:15 today? Didn't say anything, he just walked away. The point is, if someone wants to fight you, there's very little you can do about that, often, but don't ever let them decide when, where, and how. That's on you. If you're going to fight the government, you want to fight them, they want your tax money, go after something else. Don't think of it like fighting a wood chipper. You don't go to the chewy parts and try punching it, do you? No, you stand back, you look at it, you go, oh, look, there's some gears there, an axle, oh, look, it needs oil. What happens if I turn that off? Never, ever, ever fight your opponent when and where and how they instruct you to fight them. You're just going to lose every time.